Welcome back, barbarians. In today's video, I want to take a look at a Titan exotic that I believe to be pretty unique, very strong in certain circumstances, and should you be using it, is it worth getting? It's likely something you already have in your collections, but you really haven't had a reason to use it as of yet. This exotic that I'm talking about is Precious Scars. Now, it's one of the cooler looking exotics in the game, in my opinion. It is for the Titan, and it is a helmet. Now, the Titan does have some very strong exotic options, so in order to compete with that, it would have to, of course, perform kind of above the rest in order to even make it into contention. Its exotic perk is Kintsugi. I think I'm pronouncing that right. Final blows from weapons with a damage type matching your subclass create a burst of healing around you, allowing, after reviving or being revived, you grant an aura that provides overshields to you and your allies. Now, especially with yesterday being Thursday, September 16th, they came out with a patch to buff this a little bit more. So I wanted to try it out, really get a thorough review on it. And where would you use this exotic if you did use it? Just from reading it, it sounds kind of exciting. You know, if you match your weapon to your subclass, which I'm doing in the background gameplay, I'm using Vex Mythoclast, pairing it with my hammer Titan, of course, in order to, on every kill, get a little bit of health back. Now, the health is noticeable, but almost negligible at the same time. If I had to give it a percentage, I don't know the exact stats that it gives you back. However, I would assume it's around 1/6, or roughly 18% of your total health. Now, I got that after being revived and reviving people and getting kills quite a few times. Or just kills, sorry, not the revives, those don't count. But I don't think in Crucible it's a contender, especially in 6v6. In trials, I could see people using it and getting away with it as their choice of an exotic. I still think there's better options. Yes, you get a little bit of health back and it creates this burst of healing around you. You compare it to something like the Stag, which is much stronger on the Warlock. I just think for trials of Osiris specifically, there's too many exotics that shine above this one. Dune Marchers, Armamentarium, One-Eyed Mask, just to name a few, and there are others as well, that I would run in trials above this. It just provides straight up more utility for the engagements you're going to be in, and for it being so circumstantial. Now, having said that, it is fun to use, so it does have that going for it, and it is, in my opinion, the best looking Titan exotic, especially with the new ornament. This thing looks sweet. It looks like the Scarecrow from Batman. Alright, so going into PvE now in this strike. I don't actually die here on purpose, but it's a good opportunity to really see what it does. Now, it'll tell you how many characters you're healing around you. I haven't tried this in a raid yet. Who knows? That's really perhaps where this could shine, especially early on in raid encounters when people are relatively new. Because if you go down, you're essentially getting overshields no matter what. Now, I respawned. I get this overshield. It says shielding allies only 1x and then 2x when the other person's close by to receive the benefit. And you also get healing times 2. So if your teammates are close to you in a fire team of 3 and you get a kill, then it would heal both of them around you as well. And we're back. So, yeah, sorry about that. Had a bit of a delay here as I play through this strike with, again, random people. So they don't know I'm wearing it. They're not aware that I'm going to get the buff. Here I'm getting revived, and there is a range to this perk, as you can see here, and a duration. So it lasts 10 seconds, and then it's over. Yeah, once you're after that 10 seconds, I mean, again, here I'm using a fusion rifle paired with the solar subclass. And you can see if my health goes down, I do get it back a small bit after each solar kill. Now it is weapon kill to specify, so your abilities don't count for anything. But the nice thing is, you know, you just have to match your subclass, so you just have to be cognizant of that, and that's kind of part of the reason too. I don't think it's going to be it. I don't see it being super strong in like high-end PvE activity like a Grandmaster Nightfall, or perhaps a raid, because I just think they're better options for the Titan. However, if it does work out where your energy weapon, most likely your energy, not necessarily your heavy, does match the subclass that you're using, then who knows? I mean, you could definitely use it for kind of a just in case factor. You get an overshield. When you get those kills, you do create a burst of healing, as I just got there. I just got sniped by that hobgoblin and then healed right afterwards, which was kind of nice. You can see here that as I kill these little guys, see I'm healing with each little each kill. And you know, you can certainly, because it just states weapon, you can use your heavy weapon as well, and that just has to match your subclass, so it's nothing too crazy there. The one interesting thing with this is, you know, it just states your weapon has to match your subclass. So in that context, you could use something, whether it be energy or, well, I guess it'd be kinetic, but a kinetic weapon with osmosis, you know, throw a grenade, and then that's going to, of course, force that weapon to match the subclass that you're using, thereby proccing Precious Scars. Now, I didn't try this exotic in Gambit. I think it could be really useful in Gambit just because there's so many smaller adds. And if you've ever played Gambit, some of those enemies are the hardest enemies PvE has ever seen, and I don't know why. You can just kind of get inundated with a group of adds, even if your whole team is there, and all of a sudden you're dead. So knowing that and having, let's just say, a sidearm in your kinetic slot with osmosis, and you throw a grenade, you have that procced, and then each sidearm kill you get, you're getting a little bit of health back. And should a teammate die for whatever reason and drop 15 motes, absolutely classic scenario, you can get the revive and get an overshield. Now, another arena that I thought it would do a little bit better is 6v6, which we've touched on a little bit already. Here, though, I have some gameplay to kind of back up the fact that it doesn't do that much. You know, of course, in 6s, you're not getting revived, so that completely negates that perk altogether. So just keep that in mind, which is pretty obvious. But just on the solar weapon kills, I wanted to see, you know, if it would ever, you know, create an instance where I would have died, but I survived just because I had that helmet on. And I didn't find that to be the case or to be true. Just never ran into that. Now, even though the revive perk is negated in 6v6, it just needs to be more healing, in my opinion. And I will say it's the same in PvP and PvE as far as healing on that matching weapon kill. There's no differentiation between the two. I think there is, in my opinion, I think across the board the health bump could be buffed a little bit. It doesn't need to be crazy, because it's kind of a fine line there of too much versus too little, but there's just too many game modes that neglect the revive capabilities of this exotic, and therefore it's clearly not the most versatile exotic in the game to run all the time. But having said that, I think it certainly has its fun factor and its place in the game. You could run it in lower level nightfalls, Empire hunts, which are still pinnacle activities, dungeons, I think makes a great play to use this exotic, and trials, you could run it in trials as well. Now, one thing I haven't tested at all, and I would honestly be curious, is if it stacks. So if you have 3 Titans in trials, you know, if one person gets the res, or one person gets, well, the kill is per individual, but yeah, if one person gets the res, how much does it stack, or does it stack the damage resistance on top of each other for, you know, each person near you wearing Precious Scars? I don't think it would at all, but I'd be curious to try it out and see what happens. So yeah, I did want to make a video on it just because it got buffed a little bit very recently, and I still think it's one of the coolest exotics in the game, so I was kind of trying to force myself to use it. Something, unfortunately, that's just going to be tucked away. You know, for PvP, it's just going to be Dune Marchers. They're just way too strong. And there's no reason not to use them. And then PvE, there's just other exotics that are can be more used as far as their perks more often. So unfortunately, this will get put away in the vault. I'll keep the roll I have just in case. It does look cool, but it won't see much if any gameplay. So unfortunate. But that brings us to the end of this review of Precious Scars. I'm curious if you guys have used it at all, what your thoughts are on it, and have you had any success with it. So until next time, barbarians, I'll see you then.
Fire team that fights together stays together. Zone B captured. Zone advantage is yours.